basically said he's over this shit. He said, I'm over the gossip and I'm over the bullshit and I'm tired of it. That's exactly what he said.
Welcome back to Thoughts in a Glass podcast. I'm
And
LaToya,
I'm Kendra.
and this is a weekly podcast where we give our opinions on a variety of topics.
So sit back, grab a drink, relax, and get ready for the raw and hilarious commentary of two friends.
Period. So, if you're new here, every week we do a drink of the night. So Kendra, what is our drink tonight?
So for alcohol awareness, we're going to do a mocktail. And for people that, some of the ladies that are maybe expecting, maybe having other things that are going on and don't want to have alcohol in their beverage, but they want something cutesy, this will do it for you. So we have here a mint berry smash mocktail. And it's pretty easy to make. Your ingredients will be, you can do, it's raspberries, fresh raspberries, fresh mint. You need simple syrup and lime juice from a fresh squeezed lime. So all you need to do is muddle your mint and your raspberries together either in your shaker or in a glass, and then you're going to add an ounce of simple syrup, an ounce of lime juice. Shake it really well to make sure all of your ingredients get mixed in together. Add your ice into your glass and make sure you have ice when you shake it. And then once you fill it up, top it off with a little bit of seltzer water. And there you go. What we ended up doing, because I am not a fan of seltzer water, we used the lime seltzer water, and I promise you it doesn't taste like you're drinking seltzer water.
Yeah.
So,
cheers.
It's so refreshing.
That is good. Mm-hmm. It kind of tastes like
straws.
I know. Let me stir over here. Let me give y'all a little AMSR. It kind of tastes like a Jolly Rancher. Mm-hmm. I think the lime is giving it that tartness.
That twang. Mm-hmm. That twang.
I like it. So, you gave us some homework.
Yes. So
I did watch Megan Ashley. I watched her on Dear Future Wifey.
Yes.
And then I watched B Simone's
her new podcast.
I watched the first episode. And prior to that, I had watched a couple of their podcasts when they were breaking up. So that was my reference point when I was watching these two interviews.
Okay.
So
what are your thoughts? So do you see the difference in how they talk about the dissolute? What is it? Not dissolvement, but it's like basically that word, but it's the aftermath of it. Anyway, after everything has come to an end, and so of course people want to bring it up because they had a very long podcast. And as B Simone talks about it, she says they accomplished a lot of things pretty quickly. So, and for them to be friends for like 15 years?
A long time.
It was like 15, 20 years, something extreme. So, what are your thoughts on the how it dissolved, and then how they do both approach when they're being talked about or asked about it?
So it seems like they're trying to keep it cute, and they're trying not to really speak on it for the most part. To me, I feel like B Simone speaks a little bit more freely. Whereas Megan Ashley tries to kind of really beat around the bush, in my opinion. I don't know. I feel like they're handling it well. I appreciate that they're not slandering each other. I appreciate that. I mean, it's. I feel like there's some shade.
Yeah.
A little bit in like a little remarks where it's like, oh, I've just grown from that, or I'm not in the same place as that person. It could be insinuating that they're in a lower place than you, But I feel like for the most part, they're trying to be respectful.
Okay.
But maybe I'm not getting it because I don't know. I'm not.
So for me,
I'm not catching the if there are some little innuendos. I'm not catching it.
So I think it's small things that she tries to, especially when you're asked about this specific situation. And I'm going to refer to, so I'll do both because I saw Megan Ashley's first and her remarks about it, and it's more of, yes, more beating around the bush, and I'm not going to maybe slander the friendship, right? And I'm not going to make it seem as if either party was or was not the issue, right? But then when I watch B Simone's, it's like, well, I'll tell you what, anything that any of my friendships or relationship that get in,
she did say that
I'm the one that ends it.
Yeah,
and to me, it's like, okay, so you're insinuating she's the problem, right? And you're trying to, and it comes to me as you're trying to make yourself seem better than this person.
I did catch that.
And Megan Ashley's kind of like, we're just not friends.
We're not aligned.
We're not aligned.
Yeah.
It's not, we're just in different places. And that, to me, I can accept that better than, well, any relationship I was in, I end up leaving. That comment was very much so unnecessary, because we weren't talking about your relationships. We're talking about a friendship, and we're talking about a friendship that was lasting over this and a clearly almost a decade, if not more. So for you to dismiss it at that level is it just shows the character of who you are.
Yeah.
And that's why I think she's coming back into this situation, doing podcasts, already trying to having an arrogance about herself that I am not a fan of.
You're picking up arrogance?
I'm picking up big arrogance. And this is the thing, and I think this is the part that kind of bothers me. These are two different type of Christian women.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so what I'm seeing in the difference is what people talk about when they say, "Oh, that person's the reason why I don't go to church. This person's the reason why I don't." Like, she's overly passive and overly everything's about God, and that's kind of something that he also mentioned in their conversation. Oh, God's going to give me. It's like, but you still have real feelings. So talk about the real feel. That's irritating, to use God as a crutch to not even deal with your own shit, and then on the other end to be so God fearing, but like, oh, I leave all my relations. Nobody really. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
So,
I'm curious as to what the issue was that broke up the relationship. Obviously, we'll probably never get that, but it is interesting to me that to be following a path of Christ, but then to have to disengage from the friendship. It's interesting because with being Christian, a lot of it is forgiveness. A lot of it is giving grace to another person. A lot of it is, going to your brother or going to your sister and rectifying whatever issue that you all may have.
Right.
So for them to be so deep in their walk to where it caused them to disconnect.
Hercules said he's over this shit. He said, I'm over the gossip and I'm over the bullshit and I'm tired of it. That's exactly what he said. He said, I was trying to warn you with my tap dancing. I'm tired of your shit. Finish with this lady and get her out of my damn house.
It's so embarrassing.
Hercules said, oh, here we go. And then y'all go talking about the Lord again.
It's so embarrassing.
I get you hurt. Like, it's not gonna be too much longer. He always trying to y'all. Her dog always trying to kick me out. If I don't give him enough cuddles, and he probably saw me at the ice machine. Like, now you gonna sit.
Ice.
You sitting here and you gonna bring your ass up in here, smelling like two damn dogs. All of a sudden, you want to smell like dogs. You don't give me no ice, and you taking up her time.
Anyway, Yeah, I just think I would just be interested to know, like, what happened? Like, y'all on y'all walk and we getting closer to Christ. What is it about that that's causing you not to be able to be friends with a person that you've been friends with for years?
And for you all supposed to be, for you all to seemingly see, and I pause for it, seemingly
Mm-hmm.
have this such an intimate walk with Christ,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because Christ, no matter what your path was, always welcomes you in. So unless it's unchristlike of something that was going on.
Mm. I kind of got a feeling, and I'm just speculating, guys. I kind of got a feeling for Megan Ashley because she gives off this, if it's not what God says, then I'm not with it. I kind of get this feeling from her that maybe she got to a place where she was so sold out for Christ that, like, now because B Simone is still very new in her walk and she still is probably doing some things
Mm-hmm.
that, you know, are of the world,
Mm-hmm.
that maybe Megan was the one that was like, I can't associate if
Mm-hmm.
you're still going to be doing certain things. But then it's like, but if
But
you
then
are,
that's the part of the of being a lot of Christians that bothers me, is that what is, when we get into that line, baby, whatever I did is gonna be my judgment, ain't got nothing to do with you.
yeah, but it could,
And if
it,
you're supposed to
I
be a Christian woman, you're supposed to be with me through my walk.
I feel like you have those that'll say like, oh, you know, I can't be affiliated with something that isn't, you know,
Mm-hmm.
they you know how y'all know how some of these really hardcore Bible thumping, y'all know how they are. Like, oh, this isn't of him, or, you know, I can't associate with it because of the, or you are, you become who you hang around, things like that. And all of that is true, but if this is a friend and you are, you could be their spiritual, they could look up to you spiritually. And so now you're going to disassociate from them, so your walk and how you live your life could be the thing that was influencing or encouraging that person, but because they're not where you are,
Right.
now we can't be
So
friends.
this is my other thing when people say that, like, oh, who you hang around is who you are. So are you too weak to be strong enough in that space to continue to be who you're supposed to be outside of what else someone
And
else is doing,
and if
and
you
being the person that they end up becoming?
if you are too weak, then say that.
Then say that.
But
Stand
don't
on that.
say, you know how, because then you
Don't
have,
use Christ as your
yeah, you
crutch.
people will try to flip it and be
Oh,
like,
Christ would
oh yeah,
never.
but the truth is, I'm still struggling with some things, and seeing you still having one foot in the world,
And still
it
getting
would
the
be,
benefits of.
it would be a stumbling block to
Mm-hmm,
me.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
But
mm-hmm.
Megan doesn't give off the vibe that she would be willing to admit that if that was the case.
She doesn't get. She gives all, and the to me, you are so into your Christianity that you are numb to
Everything
everything
else,
else.
yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you, it's, you know, and I ain't got no, I got really Christian friends. My mom go to church, my grandma go to church. I mean, but I tell you what, I can't stand somebody that cry every 5 minutes.
She do cry a lot.
Like, girl, it don't be that deep sometimes.
She do cry a lot.
It's just unnecessary. I
Somebody
can't take
somebody
it.
posted in the comments of B Simone's podcast on YouTube, somebody posted that they felt like B Simone, or that Megan Ashley was starting to surpass B in fame or in popularity, and they felt like maybe that was the reason why they had tension in their friendship. And it could be, but it's weird because, okay, if she's getting fame and popularity and that's something that you want, it
Right.
doesn't make sense to detach. It makes more sense
To
to
ride that wave.
ride the wave. Yeah.
But then I question that, because with her friendship with what's the girl that was from Wild 'N Out? It just really just slipped my mind. But they always together, because it was her.
The one with the red hair?
No, not Justine.
I don't know.
No, the one that's she has a lot of videos with it because it's usually her, the young lady, and then like Zoe. They used to do videos, all of them together. Pretty V.
Okay.
Yes.
I would have never guessed that.
Yes, Pretty V. Because Pretty V, because she was dating Rick Ross. She was out in the.
Didn't know that, but
yeah,
okay.
yeah. So she was outside, and the thing is, I think I think B Simone is more of a black household name, more so than Megan Ashley. Now,
I would agree.
I would say maybe with their podcast because B Simone is still in her walk, and Megan Ashley has so much more experience, so she might answer the questions, have a longer, monologue when it comes to it. Like sometimes I don't want, like, if you go into a therapy session, I don't necessarily might not want to go with a preacher because your main talk, everything is going to be about God's word, how He thinks. I need someone that knows it, but then also can talk to me about real feelings in real life because the word was written in a time when that word was needed. We don't have a new word for the times that we're living in.
Yeah.
And so being able to grow and
like interpret it for now.
For now,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
give it context into my life today.
Yeah, yeah.
Because with some of the stuff that you're saying does not correlate, and it makes my life harder in the space of what I'm trying to do and just surviving. The survival of things is more difficult, so that word needs to speak to how I need to survive now.
Yeah.
So, and I think that I don't know if she's still closed off from some of the things that she's gone through, where she's not going to be that vulnerable. And I'm just going to say, for me, only talking about Christ does not make you vulnerable. That's something I can go read about myself and this, that, and if your walk does not make you vulnerable, that actual when you are crying, and not because the Lord gave you something, or because your feelings are hurt. I need that part.
Right.
That's the vulnerable part.
And then making the connection, right? Because nobody's saying that Christ isn't a part of it. It's just that real life happens.
Real life happens.
You know what I mean?
Outside of the Bible.
Yeah, and that's why we go to God, even though like you're not only going to Him when you're having problems. No, but like even in praising Him for the good things, right?
You should praise Him more then.
Yeah, but the point I'm trying to make is, good or bad, the things that are happening to us, like you said, is tangible.
Right.
Versus the parables that we're getting from the Bible. So like, I guess what I'm hearing you say is, Megan is not really showing us how the things that she's getting from the Bible is made tangible in her real life situation. Like, you went through a whole divorce,
and we know nothing about your
and
feelings about it.
Right, because the divorce itself, that's really not our business, right? But navigating those emotions, those feelings, I'm pretty sure everything concerning that divorce was not godly.
Yeah.
So like, the things that you did that were ungodly, how did you work yourself back into alignment with what Christ would have you do?
And those feelings that caused you to go to that scripture, those feelings, I just wasn't, it just doesn't, it just not giving.
It's like you don't show that part. And like you said, maybe she don't want to be vulnerable, but then what ends up showing up is this kind of perfect persona. It comes, you know what it is? It's unrelatable.
Yes. Yeah.
Maybe it's relatable for people that are at the space that she's at.
In. Yeah.
And maybe that's where the fame and the popularity is coming from, because her community is built around people that is in the same place that she's in. But I agree with you, people like that aren't there, or people like B Simone, you're not really showing us what's behind the curtain of that journey.
Right.
And that's her prerogative, but you put yourself out there to be judged publicly. So this is a public response.
Yes. So anyway, I just feel like hitting this, and it goes back to, here we go again, Black females that cannot, not necessarily be friends, but it just doesn't give the whole context of things. It's like, oh, here we go. So whatever happened, now they can't even be friends. They can't even talk. It's like, come on. So, But yeah, that was just something I wanted to talk about now as being new podcasters and black women and all of the things and being knowing each other about just as long. So
I mean, I'm not gonna speak. I don't like to like speak on things, so I'm not really gonna say what I'm thinking. But I'll just say this: I don't break up with my friend. I mean, we talked about this. Like, I'm not breaking up with a friend. Like, if we're not vibing and we're not clicking and we're in two different places, then we're just in two different places. Like, and if it gets to a point where we ain't talked in a minute, then we ain't talked in a minute.
Right.
But I just don't see under any circumstances where I would have to call you and be like, so this friendship is over. Like, it's not giving that.
It's not giving
it's
that.
not. I don't think there's anything that could happen that would really push me to like, okay, I really have to
cut ties.
Yeah, or like rip the title off.
Yeah.
Like,
friends. How many of us have them? Friends. Yeah.
Anyway.
But I look forward to seeing some of her podcasts and how she does things. Like, again, in some stuff, I think she's a little too animated for me. B Simone, I'm saying. And then Megan Ashley just cried way too much.
Yeah. I'm not that interested, honestly, in either one of them.
Yeah. I just...
like, no shade.
No shade, no tea. But I like to see what's going on in the podcast space.
Oh, yeah. I guess just for, like, research.
It's just research.
To understand the market, yeah.
Because, I watched those two dumb dudes. Girl.
What two dumb dudes?
The ones that's on this whole thing about men's superiority to women and stuff like that. This one lady called
What are they called?
I don't know, but they got demonetized because some of the slander that they was just the stuff that they was pushing was a mess. I'll show you a picture of them, but we're going to put the picture up. We got to put the picture up because this lady was like, girl, I'm not talking about Timon. I'm talking about Pumbaa. When I tell you, I rewinded that so many times and hollered.
But
because it is
chef's kiss.
Chef's freaking kiss.
I got a homeboy from high school that I used to call Pumbaa, but not for a negative reason, just because he was so funny. He always made me laugh, and he's a little on the thicker side. But I was saying it as a term of endearment.
No, yes. She said not, because one of them has a baby allegation, and he was like, not Timon. I'm talking about Pumbaa. And when you see them, it's like if you were going to hit something, you hit that damn nail on the head, because that's it. That was it. Anyway, so this is how was your week? We didn't talk about the week.
Man, it's actually been kind of busy. So I had over the weekend I hosted book club.
Okay. How was that? This was your first time hosting?
Yeah.
Okay, how did you enjoy that?
You know what's so crazy? I had a little anxiety.
Why?
Because book club, I know mostly everybody, but it's open, right?
Okay.
So sometimes we get new members, and so it's like the first time I'm meeting the new members is like at my house when I'm hosting. So that
you got people all up in your damn house.
Yeah, that I don't know, and like I'm generally an open person, but for some reason that just caused a little anxiety, and I don't know. I just was like nervous about it, but it ended up being good. We had a good time. But I feel like that was the highlight of my week, was hosting book club. We so the book that we were discussing was An American Marriage.
Okay. Let's talk about it. What's it about?
So An American Marriage is actually tragic. I mean, it was a good book. And I would recommend, but the premise of it is it's a young couple. Very early into their marriage, the husband gets accused of a crime that he didn't commit, and he goes to jail for it. And this is in the deep south of Louisiana. They're a black couple, so racism plays a part. And it takes place in the 90s, so it's not like back in the day, like it's not the Jim Crow era, but it's in the 90s where it's still it's not to the space where we are now, where like everything's on social media and you can, have these rallies and things like that. It's in a space of like, you still have these little backwoods towns that aren't up to date and they kind of do whatever they want. And if you're black, nobody cares.
Right.
So they ended up just getting sucked in that scenario. And the book kind of journeys through their relationship after that circumstance.
Got you.
And it's quite tragic. In fact, I was pissed off. One of the main characters, the wife, just really pissed me off. I couldn't relate to her at all.
Gotcha.
So I don't want to give away any spoilers. But if you've read it, we can discuss it in the comments. And if you're looking for something to read, I recommend just be prepared that it's a bit of a tragic story. It's not a warm and fuzzy romance. But I also, I have my book club book, and then I be reading a whole bunch of side books. So I went back and reread Kennedy Ryan's Real, because she actually has been getting a lot of notoriety lately. She's got a couple of new books out. Well, she has one new book out, This Could Be Us. But then she did the really popular book from last summer was Before I Let Go. But I went back and read Real because a lot of fans of hers were saying like, oh, it's so good, it's so good. And I was like, I've read this book a while ago and it wasn't all that to me. So I was like, let me go back and reread it. So I recently reread it, and I guess I like it a little bit better now the second time around. The first time around, it was slow. It was really slow for me. It was a lot of building in the beginning that was very slow for me. The second time around, I think maybe because I already knew what was going to happen, I was able to like get through it a little bit faster. It was a pretty good book. This one is about a aspiring movie star who falls in love with a director or producer. She has some health challenges, and the book takes you through their meet cute and how they kind of flow through their relationship and how her medical and her health challenges impact their dynamic.
Gotcha.
So I recommend that as well. So yeah, that was my week. How was your week?
Timon and Pumbaa.
Oh, yep.
My week was good. I had to. So this would be my 5 weeks were up for my trainer. So I did. But I did tell him like I need to take a break because that money towards him. I'm in the process of trying to get Janae a car. We got just a whole host of other things going on. And I have a Planet Fitness membership, so I'm like, I need to just take what he has shown us and then just pay it forward. I will say for me, I think my preference would be a coach that's in an actual gym.
Why do you say that?
Because I need someone that when it's a group setting, everybody's at a different level in what they can and cannot do. And I don't want to strain myself trying to be at the person that's been here for 9 weeks level, because that's not where I'm at. Or the things that I really need to work on with weight wise might be different. Like I lift a lot of stuff, so I'm good. Like my back is different strength wise than other people. You know what I mean? So it's just, I need something that's actually tailored to me.
So you need like individual
kind of
trainer.
Yeah. But I definitely recommend him. He's a really good trainer. I'll put his Instagram down in the comments if anyone is in the DMV area. And what else? And so now we're getting ready for Joshua's second birthday.
Oh, yay.
So that will be Saturday.
I can't believe he's about to be 2. That's crazy.
Friday he will be 2. And then the Lord just blessed me with having him 2 days before Devon's birthday. So
it's back to
back. So this month we have Joshua's birthday this weekend. I'm taking Devon out for his birthday the next weekend. The next weekend is Janae's birthday. And then, not birthday, I'm sorry. prom.
Mm-hmm.
And Sunday's Mother's Day.
Yep.
And then I think that next weekend, right before the weekend, my mom's birthday, which is May 20th.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like every weekend in May, there's something going on.
That's interesting. My mom's birthday is May 18th.
The Tauruses.
Mm-hmm.
My daycare provider's birthday is May 18th.
Oh, really?
Yes. Yeah, she was closed.
Well, shout out Tauruses.
Okay, Taurus is all around.
My husband's a Taurus, too. I'm not going to give his birthday because he's like, I'll be telling my business.
Well, he's in between this date and that date.
Right? Between April 20th and May 20th.
What else? And so we're getting ready for his birthday, getting ready for Dee's birthday. What else do we have going on? I think that's about it.
That's how it be. The week be.
The week is the week weeks.
It weeks.
I don't have anything else really to. I mean, the puppies are doing really well. They're getting big.
Yeah.
They're running around like crazy people.
So they got all their shots.
They
still have more.
So they got their first round on the 7th. May 7th. We take them for their next round, and then they get their very last round. And they should be good for a year.
Oh, cool.
So now it's like trying to potty train. And then I need to potty train Joshua before September because we're going on a cruise. And he gots to be out the damn pamper so that he can get in the pool. So that's the next challenge. And I will say, the other day, he was like, poop? I said, you need to poop? And he was like, his favorite word now, no. No.
He sings it like that?
Yes. No. You want this? No. So he gets off the bed. He will not poop in the bed.
Interesting.
So he gets off the bed and kind of walks around, and so then he walks back, and I was like, "You stink." I said, "Did you poop?" No. So I think that he's getting something's going on, and I need to get off the bed so that I can, handle my business.
Yeah.
So I think today we're going to go out and look for the toilet seat that has the kid's toilet seat attached to it, because I don't feel like having to put on, put off, all that stuff. So, but other than that, I just can't believe my baby's getting ready to be 2.
I know. That seems like time is super flying.
I know. And then I have one that's turning 2 and one that's turning 18. The ludicrousness of my life.
Good luck, sis.
I know. And I need to pay for my, it just reminded me I need to pay for my, where are we going in September?
I don't know.
20-year reunion.
Oh, yeah, you do. You need to get your tickets to the class reunion.
I do.
That's
shout out to Charles Herbert Flowers.
Period.
Class of 2004.
Big shout out.
Big shouts out.
So, okay, the main topic today.
What we talking about?
Do you trust your intuition? And is there a difference between intuition and instinct?
Yes.
Say more.
Okay. So, for my thoughts and definitions of it, your instincts are something that you've been taught. Something meaning something has happened to you. So now when the signs start to come up a little bit, you're like, okay, my instinct is this is I've already gone through this, so I need to back off. You've seen something. This is I feel like something that you've
learned behavior.
Your intuition be like, I don't have no proof. I can't. I don't know, but it's something that's deep inside that says, check. Keep your eyes open.
Where do you think intuition comes from?
I think intuition for females is a learned, because everybody don't have it at the same level.
Okay.
I'll say at the same level.
Okay.
Because there are some people, I think this definitely has something to do with how spiritually close you are to certain things. I don't know if it's God's voice, because sometimes, controversially speaking, I think God might be a woman. But anyway, it's a spirit. We had that conversation before. But I think it's just something that's like, it's, I don't know where the feeling comes from. And again, I don't know if I believe it's like your God. I believe it's your ancestors. It's someone else who's gone through it that's like, I'm protecting you from that. So if you're already, you won't be shocked. Like if you're already, you have an intuition of something, it automatically prepares your body for whatever's about to happen. Because if you don't have that intuition, and you, who knows what your true reaction would be. I think that when people don't have the intuition, they find their husband cheating or something like that, and they end up unaliving them. I think there was no thought behind it, or you didn't think it, or there was no possibility. And when it happens, it's like
a shock.
It's so shocking that you only know one thing to do. You either going to have the fight or flight. People like that have the fight. But I feel like it's just like I believe it's a spiritual, your ancestor, somebody who's looking at your guardian angel that's like, let me put this mustard seed up in here so that you prepared. Because with this, I don't know how you're gonna react, because there are some things that you wish that you had the intuition on. Well, when it doesn't happen, it's like, oh, okay, whatever. It's not a big to do. There's other things, if it happens and you did, like, it was fully, I didn't know. There was no, some people end up fully like losing it and never really getting it back.
So you say you trust your intuition. You've never had one of those moments where it's like, you felt like something was gonna happen, and then you was like, I'm gonna just do it anyway. And then you like, dang, I made the wrong choice, and I knew this was gonna happen.
I still do it, because you always, I feel like we don't want to sound crazy,
right?
Like now, because you can talk yourself into and out of everything. It's like, now I don't want to. Now if I do this and it doesn't happen like the way I'm thinking it's gonna happen, then I just missed out. Right. It's the FOMO. It's the FOMO effect.
But is that, because I feel like that's not trusting your intuition. Like if you intuitively, let's say, let's use the cheating, right? Because I feel like a lot of women, we feel like we have our intuition when guys, well, when our partners are cheating. If your intuition is saying that this person's cheating, and then you say, okay, but I'm going to stay until I get my evidence built up, because maybe they're not. Then you find out they are. For me, that's not listening to your intuition, because once you find out that they are, it's like, well, you had that feeling a month ago.
So this is the problem, though, with the intuition. As human beings, we need proof. Because
that's what I'm saying.
Because this is what ends up happening, though. Because you can say, you know what, I'm leaving, I feel like something's not right. I just got to save myself. There's always going to be in the back of your mind, but what if he wasn't?
True.
What if he wasn't? What if you jumped the gun? And then then you'll start talking. Well, if you jump the gun every time, you're going to end up being single. You don't really know.
You start talking yourself out of it.
You start talking yourself out of it. And so now it's like, okay, so before you make that decision, now wait for the proof to happen. So like this is your yellow light to slow down, because there's something up ahead that might not be right. Warning, warning, warning. And it's like, okay, something's not right. Now, when I was just cruising on green, now I'm at yield. I ain't fully stopped, but I'm kind of at yield where I need to start looking around to see if somebody's crossing the street, to see if somebody's walking their dog, to see if the person in front of me is slowing down, because I may not be able to see exactly what's all the way ahead. So I feel like your intuition is like a yellow to say, hey, there's something you need to be aware of, and then now start looking around for it.
I don't fully agree, because the feeling that I have when I do trust my intuition fully is such a release or such a relief, meaning like I have intuitively, I feel like something's not right. I feel like my partner's cheating, right? And then I just act on it. You know what? I'm out of here. I don't have any proof. I don't know what's wrong, but intuitively, I feel like something's not right. I'm out. Okay. And then later I find out
that they were.
when you listen to your intuition and act on it,
mm-hmm.
and you find out that you be like, I knew I made the right choice. Like, right. I'm so glad I listened and I got out of that situation.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And so I feel like that feeling feels like such a relief. Mm-hmm. How come we don't do it more? Like, how come we're so cautious, even though when you do act on your intuition, you see how it feels. Mm-hmm. But it's like, instead of risking it, like, well, what if I get let down? What if I'm wrong? Whatever. Okay, you risk it, you stay in it, and then you're not wrong, and then you feeling fucked up because you like, God damn it, I knew this shit wasn't right.
But then, so for me, even in that circumstances, yes, I will feel that way, but then the other part of me is like, but now I cannot be gaslit to say that it wasn't.
Yeah, true. But so then, to me, that is instinct. That's learned behavior. Right. Because we've been in situations where people have tried to gaslight us.
Right. So I need the proof.
And so now we feel like we need proof.
Right. And then also, trusting your intuition can also just, you don't necessarily have to jump at it, but prepare yourself.
Yeah.
To make sure that you are, okay, if this is what's going on, I'm a play the game with him because I need to put some money aside, get the kids together. Like, jumping out now.
It doesn't always have to be impulsive.
It doesn't have to be impulsive to say. That's why I say, I feel like for me, it's a yellow, like, prepare yourself. Something is ahead. Something is going on. It's not telling me to fully stop. It's just saying, you know something's not right. So that means you can't be lackadaisical in how you moving.
What about, let me give you a different scenario. Mm-hmm. What about in situations where your intuition is maybe giving you a signal of danger? Mm-hmm. Like, let's say you're getting ready to sign a contract, mm-hmm. or let's say you're getting ready to buy a house, mm-hmm. right? Mm-hmm. And everything's going good with the house. Now it's time to sign your name on a dotted line. You're going to own this house for 30 years. Mm-hmm. And you're getting that feeling of something, right? Mm-hmm. This ain't right. Mm-hmm. In a situation like that, you may not have an opportunity to wait and see. Like, you don't have an opportunity to yield and see what's going to happen next. It's, hey, you either sign these documents today or you don't sign, and somebody else going to buy this house.
Right. So I feel like even in those situations, I know for me, my intuition happens earlier than that, right? Mm-hmm. So it's when I'm looking. So for me, if I'm putting the right things in place, then even if I'm there like, oh, something not right, I also then have the secondary of, well, whatever's not right, if I've done my due diligence and I've done all that I'm supposed to do, even if this person gets over in front of me, I got God. I have my own backup that's going to make sure that, yeah, you might have got over on me with this finances, but in some way, somehow, I'm going to flip it and get ahead, right? Yeah. Because you will have an intuition, but you also have to walk by faith. Mm-hmm. That what is for you is going to be for you. Mm-hmm. Like, right now, I'm going through a situation where I've been in my home for 10 years, and now I'm finding out I had wells.
Wow.
In the back. So now I'm trying to figure out how to deal with that. That's not something that, I would have, like, they really have gotten over on this situation. Something that I have to now come out of pocket, something I have to fix. But inevitably, the value of my home has gone up. If I really wanted to do it, I could get my money and go on by my business. Mm-hmm. So it's a multitude of things that you have to have in your back pocket. Because intuition on its own doesn't do anything when you don't have, okay, so you know what, if this is not for me and if I'm feeling this way, I need to get out of it. Because there's some situations, I need to get out, and me getting out with nothing, God gonna provide, right? Mm-hmm. Then it's where, okay, you know what, it's not as bad. Even if he's cheating, I know what I need to do. If that means I'm in a situation where, okay, let me get my ducks in a row, because me leaving is going to forfeit me more money. Mm-hmm. So that means if I'm getting divorced and I'm the breadwinner, okay, I ain't paying nobody alimony for something that they're doing to me.
Right.
Let me get my ducks in a row.
Right.
I'm not leaving with absolutely nothing when I put everything into this relationship. So let me start taking some things back for myself. So does that mean that you start moving a little differently? Or you might start moving the same, because sometimes you don't want your right hand to know what your left hand is doing.
Yeah.
So I feel like your intuition is like, hey, something's not right. You need to fall back on faith and do more research. Something is not right. You need to look at the situation. Because a lot of times with your intuition and even in a relationship, there's always proof behind it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Your intuition usually pops up when something has happened.
Or I think sometimes it pops up before something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it pops up.
Not meaning something that happened that you know about, but like, you know what, and it's because the rose colored glasses have now come off.
Yeah, yeah.
And so it's like, well, he usually calls me. Lately, he ain't really been calling. And then your intuition be like, something not right.
Yes.
So it's because of a change in the perception that you have of the relationship that then says, oh, about time you can see. Now I really need you to see.
But even like outside of relationships, because I wanted to talk about this because I feel like this is something that I'm kind of I'm kind of struggling with in a sense of, I feel like a lot of times I reflect on things and I'm like, going through the process of that, I already had the intuition of what I needed to do. But like you said, I talked myself into doing something different. And then when I come out on the other side, I'm like, oh, God, I knew what to do. But I went and did this instead. And that's why I'm just curious as to, like, I know we all have intuition, but what is it that causes us not to listen to it sometimes? Yeah. I mean, sometimes I do, but sometimes I don't. And I want to get into a space where I'm just trusting that more, because I feel like your intuition comes from God, or it comes from whatever higher being that you believe in. And so what bothers me about this is, if God is sending me a message or is giving me this intuition, every time that I don't follow it, is that me ignoring God? So, those are the kind of things that I'm like, okay, well, if you are ignoring it, and let's just say, I'll just say this, I'm gonna call it the Holy Spirit, right? So if you have the Holy Spirit that's trying to guide you or give you these messages and things like that, and you ignore it and you do it your way, right? When you get into a situation that's like, dang, like I signed the dotted line on that house, even though I know I shouldn't have, or I stayed in a relationship and I knew something wasn't right, and now, he done took all my money, or whatever the case may be, whatever you're dealing with because you didn't listen to that intuition. I sometimes feel like, not to say that like that's what you get, but like that's how I feel sometimes. Yeah. Like, I don't want it to sound so negative, but I'm just going to say this. It feels like sometimes you deserve that because you had the sign, you didn't listen to the sign. Now you in this messed up situation, right? And yeah, you can work your way out of it, or, of course, you're going to have your different ways of how you can navigate through it. And it may not be all that bad, but like, you're doing all this work now, navigating out of a situation that your intuition told you months prior not to even get into.
Yeah. So this is the thing. So sometimes I think intuition births instinct, because understanding that if you're going into something have done the work, right? You've prayed on it, you've talked to God, and it's still something like, something is nagging me, I'm not going to do it, but then you have, okay, well, God, you've made it clear that this is for me. The devil can hear your prayers just as much as the Lord, right? I feel like any intent of going into anything, and you have the purest of intent going into it, it may be something that you need to go through, a walk that God has prepared for you to go through, because he knows that you can come out of it, so that when you're having a conversation with me and I'm saying, well, this is what I'm about to do, I did the exact same thing. Let me just give you a little instinct of this, that, and the fourth. Sometimes our, what we consider something that we should not have done is not necessarily for us. It's for someone else.
It's a lesson for someone else.
And because you're the stronger person to go through it.
True.
And so instinctually, it's like, all right, I'm going to deal with this. I shouldn't have did it. I kind of knew better. I kind of felt something was wrong, but because I felt something was wrong, my mind was already prepared of how, if I did go through this, how I'm gonna get out of it. Because I think your intuition don't never come without a plan with
That's
it,
true.
right? And so you may need to go through that because there's someone who does not have that intuition and don't have the means to get out of it, and when they get in, they stuck. So a lot of times for me, I believe our lives is not, we live our lives not for ourselves but for someone else. And so yeah, but I think intuition bursts instinct.
I just sometimes I
know you want to just
because I'm getting older and I'm like I'm tired of learning lessons.
I don't got time for learning lessons.
I'm tired of learning lessons. Like I need to just
learn.
I feel like I'm tired of learning these lessons. You know, so I need to start actually. Okay, I learned the lesson, so now I'm taking the knowledge and making different choices. Yes, like,
and that's one of the harder things because unfortunately the same lesson comes in different ways. And so you just have to learn to see the actual lesson. And once you see it for what it is, once you see the test for what it is, no matter whom is involved in it, because they'll be like, okay, we know she ain't going to do it if it's one of her friends. Let me put it on her sister.
Right.
Does she still have that same ability to say no? Let me put it on her mom. Does she still have that same, or the kids, does she still have that same ability? So, or that same ability for patience, or all the different tests come in different forms. But I don't know if you've ever seen the medium Teresa with the head. Well, who I'm talking to? I know you don't see it.
I was just thinking that.
But one of the things she said about her different lives and stuff. And so she was like, well, after this life, I'm not coming back. And she said, because now, especially with the platform that she has, I've learned everything and gone through every life lessons over my different lifetimes. So I feel like as long as you're still learning lessons, that means your life will continue move. You know what I'm saying? And you're not, you know what I mean? That's just how I feel about it.
That's a good way to look at it.
And I don't know if I'm ready to not be.
Maybe I'm getting down to my last couple lives. Cause
you trying to figure
I'm trying to figure it out. My mom said that to me one time. I'm not going to really get into her business because she kind of secretive about it. But she was telling me one time, she was like, I'm feeling about you that you're just trying to learn so much and you're trying to gain so much spiritually. She's like, it's almost like you're trying to figure out the plan before God wants you to know the plan. And she was like, I get it that you're just like hungry for information, but like you got to chill. Like you're trying to like get so deep into things and it's like, you're not ready for that next chapter yet. And I'm like, that is how I feel though. I want to hurry up and
get to the
end.
Get to it. The thing is,
not like I want to hurry up and end my life.
Like, right. But I get it. But you're trying to figure out the end of your spiritual journey. Yes. Like the epiphany.
Yes.
And I was having a conversation with one of my friends, and he said the same thing. I just want to, I'm trying to find the answers. And I said, in your search for the answers, you end up missing out on so much life.
True that.
And so you want to get the answers to life. And a part of getting the answer is just to live it. And the more you live it, the easier the answers will come. Because you're not just solely focused on a purpose, but you're indulging in the whole experience. Because life is supposed to be a full experience of ups, downs, left, right. So that when you do come to the end, you rest well. And you don't rest with, well, I should have, I know I wanted to get to the end of this road trip, the journey, but I missed out on so many other things that would have enriched the end of this. Because now you can't look back and say, well, I was so focused on saving all this money, I realized I didn't take that trip to Italy. Yeah. So now at the end of this journey, and people say all the time, on their deathbeds, I really just wish that I took that trip, or I spent time with this person, or I married the wrong person, or I spent my life yearning for more, and I just kept my head down, kept working, and did what I was supposed to do. But understanding that we only have one life to live, right? And so, yes, do what you're supposed to do, but on the flip side of that, live the life that was given to you, because life is a present. Not everybody can get it. Early children pass away in utero. There are some children that are still waiting in line to come down here. So the fact that you've made your way here, one out of a billion little, you were chosen. You beat everybody in the race, and now you're trying to beat everybody to the end. Get up in here. Listen, I'm on the pod.
Maybe not for nobody else, but it's speaking to me.
But get in here.
Amen.
Like, you got to, even with all the things, I don't have a house, I don't have this, I don't have the American dream or what the world is telling me I'm supposed to have. You have something that is the most valuable thing, which is life. And every day that you have a day of life is a day to turn some things around. But I'm going to live this life until the wheels fall off. So that's what you got to do. Period. Point blank in all of the things.
I ain't got nothing else
now
to say
with life, but now with life, you got to live the life in the body that you want.
Right.
So my question now, I be talking about the fitness or lack thereof, the calories or more that I want to eat. What are your thoughts? Are you here for the plastic surgery maintenance? Overhauls, as you will.
Yeah.
Yes. You into it?
Yes. I think it's, for me, I wouldn't do so much because I know the recovery process is hard and people be dying from BBLs and thankfully that's not a problem that I have.
Yeah.
But a little tummy tuck, a little
nip tuck.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you something. I say
if I had the money, I would do it.
I had thought about doing. I was like, oh, maybe I should get a mommy makeover, because there are some things hereditarily. Because these arms ain't they here for cooking. They here for the mac and cheese, and I'm over it. And so my cousin and I talk about it all the time. I'm like, Christine, she gives a lot of wisdom, but she give arms too. And my height. And my lack of boobage. It's a whole thing. But the other part of me is I don't want to deal with the recovery.
Certain things, the recovery's not that bad. Like I've heard that like breast
augmentations.
Either getting them bigger or even getting them reduced. I've heard that the recovery on that is not bad. I've also heard that liposuction, the recovery on it is not bad. And tummy tucks, it gets into a little bit of the longer recovery time with the tummy tuck.
That oblong belly button though.
You will have to get a new belly button.
Yeah. I don't.
And I think with a tummy tuck, you still have to wear the faja.
Yes.
Yeah.
You got to keep it tucked.
Yeah.
And I don't want to. First of all, I sleep comfortably. I don't even like sleeping in the bonnet.
See, with liposuction, I don't think you do have to wear a faja, but I think they recommend compression garments to like.
What did I just say? I want to sleep comfortably. I don't even sleep in a bonnet. It's on my forehead and it's touching too much. Gotta go. I don't want to be in the faja. I don't want to be in shapewear. I will just wear larger items. I want to live my life, and I don't want to be so. If you don't like me,
yeah.
Now I'm gonna tell you who don't got a problem finding a man.
Period.
And I didn't even talk about myself. When I be watching my 600-pound life, every one of them got a man.
They sure do.
Rubbing through them creases, adding the powder.
They sure do.
So what we doing?
Child, the two-headed twins.
He's busting it down with them. And the other one reading the book.
Both of them are married.
No, one of them is married.
But the other one got a boyfriend or something.
And she has a boyfriend.
Yeah.
And so they like, and it's everybody. Listen, let me tell you something. You gonna whoever for you gonna be for you.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to do something for yourself, by all means, ladies, go out here and nip it and tuck. But there are a lot of people on that other end of the spectrum that do go get stuff, and they're like, I wish I didn't get that.
I do know a girl that did do, she did a tummy tuck. She did lipo in a tummy tuck, but she got hers done back in 2010 or something like that. And she was saying how now it's even like 2010, that really wasn't that long ago, but she was saying that now the surgeons and just the way they do stuff now is so much better than how they did it then.
Yeah, because the longer the years go by,
they're perfecting
the
but
process.
She did say like she regrets getting it when she got it. She's like, should have waited
Yeah.
and got it like now because the process is so different. The recovery is much better. She had to wear like a drainage bag.
Yeah.
I don't know. Y'all don't know. I didn't do no research. I don't know how they're doing it now.
So if you
like, do you have to wear a drainage bag now?
Depending on what it is, because I know people that have gotten BBLs and stuff like that. This is only me from watching like the shows and stuff, so I don't know how far back. But yeah, they still were doing the.
Because I've heard, I've not seen, but I've heard of some people getting a lipo and they didn't have that. So I don't know how it works. I don't know. But anyway, she says that this girl I know, she says that she wish she would have still gotten it, but she wished she would have waited. Yeah.
And then in another 10 years, you were like, well, I wish I would have waited because now all you got to do is take a pill.
Right.
It's always like everything is ever changing. And what I'm going to, for me, I don't have men and I don't have kids. This body gonna be what it's gonna be.
True. I mean, if I had the money, because I probably got the money. I just don't want to spend it on that.
They got the payment plans and everything, baby.
But if I had disposable income, where I could just, you know what I mean?
But if you look at the concerts that you go to, that's only one night, and how much you spend for that. When you look at,
I mean, true.
So you do have the.
Well, okay, maybe then plastic surgery is not a priority.
To you,
but I'm not against it though.
Yeah, I'm not against it. I'm definitely not against it. Now somebody came to me and was like, "Hey, I'm lying because if you say I'm working on something and I want to try it on you, we're not doing that." But if they was gonna pay for it for you, when the podcast be big and famous, and they be like, "We're just gonna do a little something for y'all." You know, you a mother, you've been a mother of 5. We're gonna spruce you up. You think I'm turning it down?
But you're gonna have to. Not. But you're gonna have to wear the compression garments that you don't like.
But that I'm not. That listen, because by the time we big, I ain't got to go to work. Like I'm thinking about the. I don't have to work. I can afford to stay in one of them little hotels where they take care of you and stuff.
So that's what I'm saying.
They come roll you up.
If I had that kind of disposable income where like I could take a month off from work, I can just do it in a luxury way. Yeah. Then I would have been done.
Now, if I could do it in a luxury way, that's something different. But when they talk about you got to fly back on the plane and you can't sit down and you can't.
I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Wherever I go, if I go to California to get my process done, that's where I'm going to be until I'm fully healed.
I'm going to be in that little van. They're going to take me to my property. Matter of fact, they just going to wheel me from the surgery place to their own little hotel place. I need the whole thing. Yeah. Don't bring me back to District Heights trying to heal. Yeah. Hell no.
And it kind of irritates me when people do have the money and they are able to get work done on their body. It kind of irritates me when I see people like, why do all of that? Why not just work out? That's their money and it's their fucking body. Like, if you want to work out, nobody's stopping you. But why on people that are doing stuff like that? If I'm going to get surgery, obviously I don't want to work out. I don't want to do it the long way. Yeah. So you telling me that, it's kind of a redundant statement.
And this is the thing that pisses me off because working out is only really like 20%. A lot of it is the eating. Yes. And so the other thing is if I'm like, okay, I got the eating part down, I can lose the weight. I just want when the weight comes off, if I'm not toning and doing all the things because I don't want to be sore or whatever, or I don't have the time, whatever it is, I want to tone up. Mm-hmm. I'm toning myself by going in here for them to take the skin off. Because no matter how much working out you do, if you have babies, that skin is stretched, baby. It's just like a what's the face? A hair tie. Now you put it in some hot water, it shrink back down. The hot water is the suction. Yeah. It's the snippet. It's the slicing it out.
There are some natural ways you could do it, but it's going to take much longer.
It's going to take a lot longer, and it's never going to be to the same. Nothing is going to be the same. Your skin, as it gets older, it does not bounce back the way that it used to. So if you want to go and get the needles in your face, if you want to do any of the things, if that makes you feel good, the only time I just feel like when you're trying to do it to catch a man or get a man or get the men that you hear on these damn podcasts like Timon and Pumbaa, who look like
they need plastic surgery they damn self.
Ain't no plastic or surgery gonna fix that. But yeah, I'm with it.
Me too.
Get down. Get with and then some, especially when the girls that look natural, You be like, well, because I'm gonna tell you, but if you do that, you still do have to work. You do have to work out to
The
maintain
thing I
it.
don't like is when I see BBLs and their legs be looking like chicken legs. Like, if you get the BBL, like they say, your thighs gotta match.
Eat something.
You can't have this big old dump
You have to
trunk
work out
on chicken legs.
You got to. The thing is, I do believe if you work out prior to, at least to tone your legs, it will give, and then you don't want nothing astronomical.
Mm-hmm.
No pun intended. Mm-hmm. But like, you got to work out. You still have to eat certain things to have those gains.
Yeah.
But I do believe that going through plastic surgery, if it is like a lipo, BBL, things like that, you do need to work out to maintain the shape of things, to make sure that it's still sitting up, because understanding your body still is your body.
Yeah.
You can't eat crazy. You can't do certain things crazy. And I think that force you to have to work out. You got to you got to keep those abular muscles circulating. You just can't become a couch potato.
Yeah.
And you just can't be at the beach.
Yeah.
Walking around and your skippity skips. But, we out here. Lipos is...
Yeah. Well, I think we did good. Guys, make sure you subscribe, hit the notification button, tell a friend. We have a good time. We're a ton of fun.
I mean, we be talking about the things, y'all. We be talking about the things. And don't act like y'all ain't hitting us up. I'm not going to tell y'all no more. Getting a daggone comment. Oh, my God, I love that episode. And that's the other thing. I'm calling out one of my friends. I ain't going to say her name because she knows I'm going to talk about her. We going to talk about some stuff, but the deep dive is between you and your therapist.
Yeah.
We ain't going to do it for you.
Yeah.
We love you, though. And if it's stuff that you want to follow up on, put it in the comments, because then ask the question that you really want to know.
Right.
That we may have touched on but didn't really dive into, and be like, hey, I want to know your opinion on this specific thing so that we can give you a full explanation, dive, our true feelings, this, that, and the fourth, so that we can be you can we be your therapist for an hour on a Wednesday morning. We got you, and you ain't paying for it.
That's true. You get
the same amount of time. Ask me what you want to know, and we'll talk about it.
Period.
And for all of that, we're gonna drink
to that.
See y'all next time.